Okay, I know people are going to freak out if we don't get to it, and in as much as we can discuss it, the Maricopa County Audit. Now, my understanding is that the audit is complete, and when the media ran the stories that said Joe Biden gained votes, that was only on the recount aspect, which is basically just counting again what you've already counted, and not the audit aspect. Whereas the audit aspect did, in fact, reveal anomalies that may need to be rectified through election reform in the near to immediate future. I don't know if you saw Razor Fist's breakdown, but I mean, I think it's pretty clear where you never know which way you're being pulled in terms of extremes. Was it a crushing blow that confirms anomalies, or was it a crushing blow that confirms the legitimacy of the results, or somewhere in the middle, Robert?
I mean, I think it depends on which aspect of the audit you highlight. So the media highlighted the fact that the hand recount confirmed the machine count. So to the degree there are allegations that the machine manufactured votes that did not exist in paper printed ballot form, that allegation was rebutted effectively by the hand recount. The hand recount ended up finding a few more votes for Biden than the machine count did. That was what the media ran with. On the flip side, the auditors also found a very insecure election system. That part's not a big surprise. The left used to acknowledge this just a year ago before the election. HBO had a big documentary on it. How hackable election machines has been a recurrent problem.
10 years ago, there was a massive bid. I think it was CNN illustrating all the problems, everything that everyone was repeating now. I guess in 10 years, technology has evolved so much that all of those problems
they don't spend enough money on the machines to make them that secure is the reality of them. Too many machines, too cheap in their policy, so they're always hackable. That they weren't secure, that there were about 57,000 or so of votes that were in doubt, not because of the hand recount and not because of the nature of the ballot, the physical structure of the ballot, but instead because of reviewing two things. They didn't do a signature match check, but they did look at whether or not they only looked at whether or not the system captured and caught the blank signatures or the signatures that were scribbles. And they found there were 3 to 4 times as many, depending on the particular errors than the original election officials caught. In other words, where they missed the fact that the signature was blank. Where they missed that it's just a scribble, it's not a signature, and so that does raise questions about what would a real signature match check have shown, but that they never did do that. But the other aspects they found were you had people with the same name and apparently the same identity, both voting from 2 different locations and both of them voting.
That is what was referred to as the it was multiple residence vote. What was the word they used in the line?
Multiple residences. So the same voter, multiple residences. Voters who appear to be ballots that were cast in the name of voters from places they didn't live, and there were a range of other anomalies that they found. So from an auditor's perspective, they found enough forensic issues to say that there were more ballots or more voters in question than the margin of victory in the presidential election. And so for those on that side of the aisle, they got what they wanted out of the audit. The media got what they wanted out of the audit. And so it was a bit of both, depending on which aspect you highlighted and focused upon. The biggest controversy moving forward is that it appears that certain log entries and other entries on the machines were deleted the day before the machines were turned over. This has led to a referral to the Attorney General of Arizona, who's in a little bit of a bind because he's running for the United States Senate. So is he going to meaningfully investigate? Because there's going to be a lot of people paying attention in the primary. If he does, but anything he does do, will the media say this is politically motivated? So he's kind of caught there. I tried a case once in front of his wife, federal court appointee by Trump. Let's just say I don't have great confidence in him, but if his wife's any indication, you can't judge someone always by their spouses, but sometimes it's a good proxy. So so we'll see. But that's the biggest. Now there are aspects of the audit that are continuing. they reached a settlement agreement that's going to allow them to look at routers and other electronic information. So to those that wanted to say, look, the audit disproved certain allegations related to the machines, the audit produced evidence in support of them. To those who wanted to say, look, the audit found major problems and security flaws in the manner and method in which ballots were counted and cast, they too found substantial evidence in their favor. So both sides got something out of the audit. I like the audit because it's a good precedent to set, period. People should always have a right to audit their elections.
And I say this is not a critique of Razor Fist. He used the F word. And one might back that up and say, okay, well, we won't use the F word. We'll use the A word, anomalies. They didn't do signature matches on or signature verifications on an amount that would have, an amount that exceeded the difference. So there's that. People are going to say, well, whatever. But that's the bottom line outcome. Call it an F, call it an A, call it a double D, due diligence not being done. That was the ultimate outcome. Above and beyond the recount, which showed a gain for Biden, it revealed anomalies or at the very least imperfections in the mail-in system.
Yeah.
In terms of, at the very
a lot of insecurities and inadequacies in the way the election was conducted. And they came up with a great set of proposed reforms. There could have been a few more that, I think they could have come up with, but they used the information they developed to say, here's all the legislative reforms we need to make this system work better in the future. And I think there's a fair chance those reforms pass. So that'll be another lasting positive impact of the audit.
Discrepant. We'll use the D word. All of them, incidentally, are also, other swear words. Okay, so it's very interesting. So I effectively caught the gist of the outcome of that, because it is funny. It's like, it's beyond one screen, two films. This was literally two different screens blasting diametrically opposing messages. Although, did I not see wrong that Tucker Carlson is taking some flack for not having discussed this? Or did he discuss it and I missed it? Or did he not discuss it, and why not?
He did not discuss it, though his show came on not long after the whole process was still being heard. Okay. So it was heard in the afternoon, I think, on Arizona time, if I recall right. So it seemed like it was like that it went to 3 or 4 in the afternoon Pacific time, which is about the time he's going on the air. So we'll see how he covers it and what ways he covers it moving forward. I think that there was a lot of valuable information there that people could cover without having a political bone in the fight. In other words, if you believe in election integrity, election transparency, and election confidence, there's a lot of things that you can use from the audit to support that and substantiate that. Over the last decade and a half, it's mostly been the left complaining about machines, complaining about lack of transparency, complaining about lack of audit trails, complaining about lack of paper trails, complaining about these kind of procedures that the audit details, hey, there's still problems with, and here are some of the solutions that could fix it. So I think for those that are on that you don't have to be partisan to see value in the audit and to see value in the reforms being proposed.
Yeah, and someone said, I saw the clip of I don't know who the individual was that was saying it, so I couldn't assess the authority, but apparently whatever this chat says is what the individual testified to, and apparently it's an undisputed fact. So
it may not be illegal, though. It's not clear to me that they had a legal duty to maintain it. So that aspect was not established as far as I could tell at the hearing. It's a bad inference. If you're on the side of the aisle to say, hey, you should have confidence in the elections, but let me delete. Let me pull a Hillary. Which reminds me of Trump's joke at that thing. But I think there was value to this no matter which side you were on, and the media spun it. It was interesting. The media went from saying this is a totally bad thing to, oh, this is great. It confirms everything's fine. Yeah. If you had any doubt which side the media was on, they answered that by the way they covered this audit. Very one-sided, unfortunately.
It's the amazing thing. It's the predictive wrongness of the media. Whatever they say, just assume that it's the exact opposite and you're going to be more right more often.